Your friends were right. Subarus have got chocolate engines. It doesn't need to be that way. So I'm going to talk you through 10 common reasons why Subaru engines fail so that you can hopefully avoid them. Okay, let's get started. Let's start off with poor fuel. 95 RON fuel on its own isn't a particular issue, but if your car has been mapped for 99, i.e. Shell V-Power or Tesco Momentum, it's going to cause an issue. Detonation will kill it, whether it be that day, a couple of days later, 2 weeks later. Take it really easy until you can fill it up with proper fuel. 95 doesn't have the same resistance to detonation that the higher octane fuels have, and it's detonation that will kill your engine. Number 2, old oil. Don't be like this customer who said that his car was running great until his son took the car out for an afternoon and killed it. Having taken the engine out and stripped it down, you can see that this wasn't an afternoon's worth of damage. This was long-term damage caused by really old oil, burnt around all the bearings and all the surfaces within the engine. The motoring equivalent of smoking 100 cigarettes a day. Really not good for it, and a engine killer. Number 3, owning a Subaru, you should be checking the oil level every week, at least every week. 2.5 in particular is renowned for using a bit of oil. That's normal. Subaru say it's normal. They say half a litre every 1,000 miles. I think that's a bit excessive personally, but they were adamant that that is an acceptable oil usage. So be sure to check the oil level. If the oil runs low, it will kill the engine. You know, the engine needs oil, good oil. Number 4, don't send it from stone cold. It's really, really bad for the engine. It hasn't got a chance to warm up. The oil hasn't got a chance to warm up. The coolant temperature gauge on your dashboard will run in advance of the oil temperature. So whereas the water temperature might be showing that it's up to temperature, the oil most certainly wouldn't be. So take it easy, give it a few miles to warm up before putting your foot down properly. It's an engine killer if you don't. The amount of times that I've had messages from people saying my car's misfiring, but if I keep my foot in, it drives through the misfires, and I'm always at a loss for words. It's like, why would you do that? You know, the misfire's telling you something. It's either running out of fuel, or there's a real spark issue, or a cam or crank sensor issue. So listen to your engine, listen to what it's trying to tell you by misfiring, and solve the problem before you try and drive through issues like that. Ignoring issues like that is going to end up with an expensive engine repair bill. Number 6, where do I start with Facebook? It's a great resource. Some people on there are really helpful. Some people on there are really knowledgeable. But putting a thread up asking, what do you think the problem is? You'll get a million replies. Wading through those to actually find out what is actually wrong will take you so long, and you'll have spent a fortune on sensors and trying to find out what the actual issue is, rather than taking the car to a specialist, someone that knows Subarus, someone that deals with Subarus day in, day out. They'll be able to diagnose it really quickly. So be careful on who you take advice from. There are lots of armchair experts. Obviously I'm sitting in an armchair now, but I'm just trying to share my years of experience in the Subaru world to save you having to rebuild the engine. Number 7 is quite a simple one. I tend to work on the basis that anything that you're putting on the car that you think will improve it needs at least checking. It needs probably a change to the map, to the tune, to actually make it work properly, to be safe, or to produce the power or release the power that it should be producing. So if you're putting mods on the car, put it on a couple of days before mapping and take it to the mapper, and wait till then before you having a race with your friends. Number 8, I come across these from time to time where people have taken their Subaru to their local remapper and they've loaded on a file and charged them X amount of money, and you know, the car's not running right, they haven't got a clue what to do with it. The person that flashed the file on has got no idea what's going on, and they end up having to come to the likes of myself or other tuners around to actually solve and map the car properly. Don't waste your money on flash maps. At the very worst, it's an engine. At the very best, you've just wasted money. Subarus are all individual and they all need an individual map. You can't just flash a map on there. This map was one that I took off a car 2 weeks ago, where the customer was just bringing it along for a checkup, just to make sure it was all healthy. I just recently bought the car, and as you can see from the map, it is horrendous. The person that was tuning this or loaded this file on hadn't got a clue what they were doing. So do yourself a favour, don't get a flash map, get your car properly tuned, or learn how to do it yourself. Obviously I'm running some videos which will be doing a step-by-step on how to tune the car yourself. So if you're interested in doing that, watch those videos. It will be a long-term project on that. Number 9, donuts. No, not that kind of donuts. This kind of thing. Awesome fun. Looks amazing if you can do it properly, like this guy can. But unless your car's set up to do it, the stress and oil surge and fuel surge will kill your engine. Same as sitting at a show, trying to impress your friends with the car on the engine limiter, popping and banging. You know, it's really destructive, really bad for the engine, and could be very expensive when it all goes wrong, which it generally does if your mates are watching. So don't be that person. Save yourself an engine. Finally, Subarus know how much money you've got in the bank. They know what your credit cards have got available balance. And if you're down to your last pennies, they will bite you. I don't know how they do it, but they know. They know. So build up a little contingency fund just in case things go wrong. You know, I've had customers running way over what an engine or a gearbox should be rated for, but they're fully aware of the fact that the engine or the gearbox could go at any moment in time, and they're quite prepared for that. As a result, the engine or the gearbox seems to last forever. If they were down to their last pennies, it's a high probability that the engine wouldn't last forever. So build up a little contingency fund just in case. Just put it aside and say, right, that's just in case. Your Subaru will know that and it will be happy. So I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next video.